Hi guys, Jay here. I hope everyone had a great Christmas. For this week, I couldn't resist taking a look back at yesterday's workout, the iconic Fight Gone Bad. I'm going to talk about a couple of variations for this workout, but Fight Gone Bad is 3 rounds, 1 minute per station for max reps of wall ball, sumo deadlift high pull, box jump, push press, row for calories, and then rest 1 minute at the end of that round. Now, when adapting this for children, there was a couple of things I considered. The first of all is for max reps. Instantly I changed that for quality. So I think this workout gives a great opportunity to get a lot of volume in for our children, but at a lesser intensity, controlling that intensity, making sure they're getting some good reps in and developing that awareness. I have got an alternative sort of a timing option here, and I'll talk about that at the end of the explanation of this workout. So I've got a wall ball in here. For the wall ball, I'm choosing a really light object, a light ball, a football, or for those of you in the States, a soccer ball. And really, I've kept this in here because it's a great opportunity to work on the sort of accuracy, coordination, and those catching skills that children need in many things that they do at school and during physical education and so on, and sports. I've got a kettlebell sumo deadlift. Now, the reason I have the sumo deadlift in here with some load is we don't want the children having to worry about getting their body out of the way of an object as they would with a conventional deadlift by moving their knees and worrying about that bar path. So with the kettlebell sumo deadlift, the kettlebell's in between their legs and they're not having to worry about that bar path. I haven't got the sumo deadlift part in, the high pull part in, just because there's a lot of different movements in here, and I think that is the sort of movement that you would do when you're maybe doing a small couplet and then, or teaching it in isolation as a skill session, and then putting it into a workout like this further down the line. From my experience, and that's what I use to reference with these workouts, I haven't taught my children the sumo deadlift high pull yet. So I've looked at one of the foundational pieces for that. We're also getting a nice explosive movement with the box jump here, so I didn't feel the need to have another one in there with the sumo deadlift high pull. So box jump will be the same. We love box jump for kids. It gives us that impact loading. I've got the dumbbell push press here. That's something we've covered quite a lot with our kids' workouts when we're adapting them from our linchpin workouts. So I felt it appropriate to keep that in. Again, dumbbells are chosen for the same reason that we choose the sumo deadlift for children, is that we don't want them to have to worry too much about that bar path just yet. At some stage, when you've thought about, spent some time developing that skill and they've got the emotional maturity, think about different layers of complexity, it'd be absolutely appropriate to start with a PVC pipe and then a barbell. But for the time being, and then again, based on my experience of coaching my children and in an affiliate, I think this would be the most appropriate. Then, instead of the row for calories, I've got the shuttle sprint. I just think for our children, shuttle sprints give us more bang for our buck. You know, it has more application in the things that they'll be doing, running around in a playground, on a sports field. I guess for the children at the moment, there's limited application for using a rower. For us as an adult, you know, we get that sort of squat movement, or we get a really good hit from that conditioning piece there. However, I think our children get more bang for their buck from the shuttle sprint. And again, for rest 1 minute at the end of that. Now, to do this rep scheme, these are your much older children, you know, sort of pushing towards that teen age. They've definitely been doing CrossFit for a long time, and they're able to do a workout for longer than sort of 15 plus minutes. You know, we've got 18 minutes in total here, including the rest. Now, if you do have an advanced kid, but they're not quite ready for that amount of continuous volume, you can break it up as 3 rounds for 30 seconds on, 30 seconds rest, and then you just get rid of that rest at the minute there, because they've got rest put in there, and they've got a bit more rest than they would have here. This is great for us if we're coaching our children. It gives us an opportunity to remind them of the points of performance going on to the next movement, or remind them of the next movement before they start it. It gives them a chance to catch their breath, and it gives them a chance to refocus before the next movement, instead of sort of blindly going into it and then losing some of that consistency and that mechanics because they've got too much intensity there. For our less experienced children, I've gone completely unloaded except for the box jump, because we do love the box jump and the impact loading it gives children, that explosiveness that we can get from that box jump. So I've changed it to a Tabata style timing that is working for less time. So we've decreased the intensity. They've got a bit less rest, but they're doing less volume in that. And again, that rest period allows you to refocus and allow the children to remember the next movement, or just say, remember, we're doing this movement now. I'm going to talk about the air squat and the angry gorilla at the end of this section again. So we've got air squat, so unloaded squat, an angry gorilla. That's a term you'll frequently hear for an unloaded deadlift, how the unloaded deadlift resembles what an angry gorilla looks like. We've got a box jump, we've got a hold up the sky, so our unloaded press, and then again we've got that shuttle sprint. Now, for our less experienced children, you might consider just going through one of the squat or the angry gorilla or the unloaded deadlift. That is because you're teaching two things here which potentially could be quite complex for our children, especially if they have elements of one of those movements they haven't quite got. So for example, if they haven't quite developed the awareness to keep their knees tracking their toes, or they can't quite maintain a neutral lumbar spine as they're doing that squat, you might just focus on one of those movements there. For our no equipment option, again, you can do the 3 rounds, 1 minute per station for quality, or you can do that 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off timing if that's more appropriate for your children. And again, we've gone completely unloaded here, no equipment. No matter how experienced your children are, it's great for them sometimes to come back to unloaded movements. They might have had a growth spurt where they need to sort of re-establish those neural pathways, because as they've grown and they haven't done a movement for a little while, one of their squat might have looked beautiful 1 week, and then the next week it doesn't necessarily. So we have to keep coming back to re-establishing those movement patterns. So this is a great opportunity to do that. Even if you've got an advanced kid and you've got some equipment, but their movement isn't looking so good, bring them to the no equipment option. So we've got air squat, our angry gorilla, so our unloaded deadlift, our broad jump now instead of a box jump. It could equally be a tuck jump. We've got hold up the sky, so our unloaded press, and then our shuttle sprint again. And I'm going to have a video showing you one of my children going through the advanced option and one of them going through the less experienced option. Have a happy new year, guys. Thank you. So the first two movements are wall balls and air squats. We actually spent a long time working on the wall ball before doing the workout as a skill, as it was actually something that they found quite tricky. So here you can see the kettlebell sumo deadlift and an angry gorilla. I like to get the angry gorilla to just hold an open hand and then hold the thumb as if they were holding an object, just to get used to that position of holding something and guiding an object. So for the box jumps, just appropriate heights for their ability. I always go just a bit under what they can do comfortably, just for safety, and make sure the reps are really consistent and accurate. So for the hold up the skies, the unloaded press, I just focused on end position, so making sure that her finish position was right. For the push press, my son moves his feet quite a lot, so we really focused on keeping the feet still, except for at that end of that triple extension. And you can see here his feet were much better apart from that slip just there, but he moved his feet much less during this movement. And for the shuttle sprints, really, this is just an opportunity to let them go for it. My children were running on a bit of a wet surface, so you can see they were being a bit cautious, but this is an opportunity where you really can ramp up the intensity for the children.